ask you. It just sounds like you have such a strong connection to education in general, and obviously with Summer Search's foundation. I'd love to learn a little bit more about your connection to the organization. What brought you here?
Yeah. So I'm a first generation college student. I didn't realize I was, I guess back when I went to undergrad, I didn't really recognize that I was a first generation college student. I mean, I knew that I was the only person in my family that had gone to college, but when I was there, I was kind of, had a lot of culture shock around what it means to come from a family of wealth or non-wealth. Like I didn't grow up with a lot of money. And so went to UC Santa Barbara, which is only 2 hours north of LA, where I grew up, but it felt like an entirely new world. And I really struggled, candidly. I went home fairly often, and then had a mentor who helped guide me through my undergrad, both put me in undergraduate research to make sure that I was aligned academically, and really wanted me to go get my PhD. And that wasn't the route I picked. Similar to you, of like, she had a vision for me. I was like, it's not really the vision I have for myself to be in school indefinitely, but appreciate it. So yeah, I was an undergraduate, a first generation college student, and then I ended up becoming a mentor and an advisor during undergrad. And so like a lot of our staff at Summer Search, that's where I started. I was actually advising and mentoring first generation college students in Santa Barbara School District. Did that for a couple years, and that really put me in the space of I needed to be in the intersection of social work and education. And so left undergrad to become a social worker.
Wow.
Well, I should say I took a mini break and was working as at a residential treatment facility, helping young people exit the foster care system. And that experience alone was one of the most rewarding and challenging jobs in my career. I myself was still trying to figure out adulthood, let alone trying to support young people to become adults. That led me to social work. So moved to New York, became a social worker, and I live, breathe, and think like a social worker. It's how I operate. I've been in leadership roles since then, and really go back to my core of what I learned in social work school, of meeting people where they are. And that's where I've kind of lived over the last 15 years. But what led me to Summer Search was, as I've told some folks here, I have been at the intersection of education and youth development for the last 20 years. And I did work in government and in New York City public schools for the last 10 years, and also just came from a role in philanthropy. But I was looking to do more direct work. And for me, this was a homecoming of what I wanted to be. It's where I saw myself. It's funny enough that about 10 years ago, I won 40 under 40 in New York City for the. Thank you. But what I'm saying that to say, it's not just about that. What I'm saying is I had to say, like, what did I see myself in 5 years? Yeah. And I said I saw myself running an organization that focused on youth development. And here I am. It took me longer than 5 years, but here I am, and I get to do this work. And it really does solidify that this is where I was meant to be, in this kind of work. I would have been a summer searcher had this been available in LA. I would have loved to have done something like, to be in a role of supporting and mentoring young people. I did that in undergrad. Probably wasn't as skilled as our employees. So, but I'm excited to be here.